I am Mark Dice, and welcome to Eternal Misery. Not really. I'm being hyperbolic, but yeah. I was going to do Death Stranding today, but lots of things going on. Oh, that looks so nice. So, I'm sorry, my hands feel all, like gritty, gross, stinky because I was touching hardware. I got a new graphics card, so it's an RTX ready card, so it should be able to play basic RTX compatible. Fuck? Where the hell is that coming from? Oh, I know what's happening. For serious. So hopefully, yeah, okay, good. My audio's going. It decided to change my headset. So it was playing out of both my monitors. I was like, why does it sound like double stereo, like slightly off? Like, I don't know. I don't know if you could tell that kind of stuff, but it was probably coming through my microphone or it wasn't being captured at all, more than likely. So yeah, that was a mess. So yeah, I just installed a new GPU. And yeah, I really wish this... Oh, you can't see my mouse. Sneaky. That's, I guess, a new thing. I really want to show mouse, but that's fine. For some reason, it's not capturing my mouse. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I wish this, like, I have to do some coding to get this to boot, to get it to kick out, and then I'm gonna put a whole bunch of new things. But anyway, let's go back to what we're doing. I also started a Russia save. It was random. We were doing China. But, I ordered my graphics card. It said it was coming in a day. And then, it wasn't. Then it said it was like 3 to 6 months, this item's out of stock, stuff like that. So I was like, are you kidding me? So I figured, I'll just wait. Sometimes Amazon says that, then it comes later. But no, it was legit, like, oh, this item's back ordered, you can't get it. And there was like 8 other sellers selling it for less than what I would have paid for it. So I had to contact Amazon, get it canceled, and then get the new one. New one came this morning, installed it right before the stream, and headache. So the RTX card I originally ordered was a Radeon series that was like a top tier Radeon series one. Just because it paralleled with my CPU, so I was like, oh, cool. Everything lines up. All my ducks are in a row. I can have a high power Radeon RTX working with my Ryzen, and it'll all be streamlined and get high quality. What is with this shadow buffering? It's really weird. It's like the light is inconsistent. But this one, they lied, and it was a GeForce. So yeah, there's that. 1 unemployment. Okay. That's a tough one. I guess one of the kids grew up. Is there any space? These are all robots, so they're not getting that. Spacebar is also robots. That's full. That's full. It's also robots. Tai Chi Garden doesn't count. Can only put one shift on there, so let's just put one night shift on so she has a job. But yeah, so then I had to install all the GeForce drivers, which I'm fine, whatever. A GeForce works. It doesn't have like issues. They're not as fussy as they used to be, so I'm not particularly worried. But it's more just like the seriously. So yeah, false advertising. I'm annoyed but not annoyed kind of thing. And so over the weekend when I played Death Stranding, you know, I was having a good time. I want to play more of it. So I was complaining about it being cold, and it was damn cold. And I was like, why is it so cold? Like, I thought we turned the heater up. We should maybe turn it on. Maybe we should turn it up. Yeah, we had a guy come out and inspect our heater, and the heater was completely borked. The safety had been burned and melted, and had been that way for like years, like probably like 2 years. Our safety had been failed, which is good to know. It's good to know the safety we have is failed. You know, our house could have burned down or it could have exploded. So we were like livid about that. Oh, look at that. That's juicy. But yeah, I'm kind of still like, I don't know. I guess I'm like over it, I guess, because it's like, well, we didn't blow up, so it's okay. And the heater's off now. And it wasn't working anyway, and the heat intake is completely cracked. The whole thing is messed up. So we had to buy a new furnace. So I buy a nice new graphics card, and then I have to spend like 7 G's on a fucking thermostat. 5 G's, something like that. I don't know. It was expensive. But yeah, so woo, so happy about that. But yeah, so I may not stream tomorrow because it is freezing and I honestly feel like I'm getting sick. Gambling is bad, don't do it. Because it's 18 degrees here now. And it's about the same in the house. And that was during the day. So at night it's going to be much worse. And I think only standing to continue to get worse. Let's just do that. I don't need that yet. Should just build a Hawking Institute instead. Kick them out and build a Hawking Institute. Yeah, so let's do this. Well, I don't have any way to manufacture electronics just yet, so that's fine. We can research it, no biggie. But yeah, so that was my deal. I had my furnace break, bought a card that wasn't the Radeon I was expecting, it was a GeForce, which makes no difference. So yeah, a mess. And I don't know how much, oh baby, how much I'm going to stream tonight. Because I actually have a portable heater blowing on me right now, and I'm still cold. Like, I can feel the heater. Like, it's pretty close. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's pretty close. So I have to keep an eye on it, and yeah. Also, I'm worried because with this new card, I wanted to make sure everything was operational, because I don't want to get why are you here? I'll put you there. I don't know if you remember I don't think you're people, no. That was my Russian playthrough. But I'm talking really fast and really hype because I'm just like, it's been like a whirlwind. And like, have you ever, I don't know if you're even from cold climes, but there's nothing worse than being cold for like an extended period of time. And not like, oh, I can like sit in front of the heater or whatever for a few minutes, like, just, like, because I work at home, so I can't even escape the cold. But, yeah, it's been like death, and you feel sick after a little while. And that's how I feel. Like, I know I'm not sick, it's just my body is so exhausted from being cold for so long. And it sucks. Frankly, it sucks. Okay, are these still taking power? No. No power, no maintenance. Good. Let's just go ahead and... What is your max range? There we go. Just maximize. 10 is the max you'll get, because max you get is 100, so it's worth doing. And I don't mean to sound so like piss and vinegar and life is terrible. It's not terrible. I'm going to get a nice new heater on Friday. We're going to do a mega long stream on Saturday, and life will be good. No complaints. Everything is good. I'm just exhausted. So understand if I sound peeved or over hyperreactive, that's literally because my brain is overworking. And that's a thing I do when I'm exhausted. Like, most people when they're exhausted, they, like, can't think. I'm the direct opposite. I, like, too much information. Surge. Now I really wish I had Russian, because holy god, I would just dig out all of these. Russian and Brazilian are super OP in this game. Like, America's pretty OP because you get tons of money, and you can build mega malls and satisfy everybody with just using food, which is amazing.
Breakthrough discovered.
Uh-oh. That's a bad one. I mean, it's not the worst, but yep. That one, I think, can cause an event that makes people a little skittish. Alright, how are we doing? We're getting pretty close. I should... Well, I should have the money soon, and then I'm just going to outsource that. I could technically go and build some sensor towers like out here, but it's not worth it. I don't think. But, yeah, I'm playing this because my focus will be intensively on it. I got a bunch of other games, just a sideline play for myself. And I'm just like, so, I don't want to learn a new game. But November has been not the greatest month. So, I don't know what else to say. I'm looking forward to Friday more than anything else. Like, honestly, you don't know how bad it is not having a heater until it's gone. And, like, it's weird, too, because Delirious and I were talking about, like, you know, just you're in this state, and you're kind of like, okay, well, you know, what do we do? And, you get this kind of idea of, like, people who have no idea what it's like people who've never had a, like, skip meal, or people who've, like, never gone, like, without heating over the winter or air conditioning in the summer. Like, I grew up no AC. There was no AC. We had a few fans in the windows, and that was it. Like, our AC unit was built into the brick, and we'd have to, like, pull out a section of our house to do it, and it would be, like, probably like a close to $100,000 job to get everything put back up, and we lived in a condo community, which don't ever do, and it was a mess, and we just like grew up without it. And it's so weird, like people who've lived their entire life in AC and don't know what it's like to try to sleep when it's like 103 and humid out. Like, it's weird. It's weird, man. And
Breakthrough discovered.
neural empathy. But empaths are really good. I probably will get them after I get all these. These are more important. I don't know about drone swarm though. Let's skip drone swarm, and then we'll do neural empathy, because empaths are really good, especially in late game. But yeah, it's just, I always find it. Hey, Kyoto. Sorry, no anything more interesting. My furnace broke, so our house is like about 18 degrees, and we have like space heaters going. So in C, that's like, in Celsius, that's like -7, something like that. So we're getting our furnace replaced on Friday, and it's a mess. So I'm just playing this because I can sit in front of a heater and do this. But it's okay. I will survive. Yeah, I mean, they're not the worst. Like, I've had worse times. But I was just, like, thinking about this when our heater went out. Like, we do have friends that are pretty spoiled in their life, and they've never, like, missed a meal or not been able to, like, have a meal because their family couldn't afford it, or like had to worry if they could pay the rent, like, you know, simple things that everybody worries about at some point, or like gone without AC or anything like that. And it's really weird how like there's so many people that just like they've lived in comfort their entire life and have no idea, like they've never been like, you know, had their car break down in the middle of nowhere and had to figure out how on earth they were getting home. Like,
Sector scan. Anomaly found.
damn, anomalies like crazy. But yeah, I'm playing this comfortably, and I'm not too bad. I'm just delirious from being so cold for so long. But I always like take it into like when I grew up around a military academy, and there's a lot of students from like all over the world, and we'd have people who've never seen snow. We had people who'd never seen a squirrel and thought that there were rats like everywhere. Like we had some people who like didn't understand that like when it's freezing rain out, they're gonna still be out there marching. They're like, what do you mean? Like, it's cold and rainy, we don't go outside when it's cold and rainy. It's like, no, you're in a military academy, that's what you do now. It's just weird how some people just have like never experienced stuff like that. There was one student who was, he was from somewhere weird. I don't remember where he's from, but grass was like the most confusing thing. Like, he didn't know if you could step on it, like if you'd hurt it, or if it was like a bush, or if it was like pointy, or if it would like bend if you stepped on it.
There's more to the barren environment.
Like, for sure. But I was thinking about it with the heat out. Like, the heat out bothers me, but it's something that you just adapt to. Like, you know, I grew up without central heat either, so I had lots of cold winters when I was a kid. Lots of blankets settled up against like the TV playing video games, or the computer playing video games, like a space heater next to me. But Yeah, I always think it's like weird stuff. Like, I've met so many people who've never seen the ocean, and I find that like absolutely foreign. Like, people are from like middle America or Canada who've never seen the ocean. They're just like, I don't know what the ocean looks like. And it's like how do you, like, I've seen pictures of it. Okay, well, and they're like, well, I assume it just looks like the picture. It's just a lot of water. And it's like, ocean is a cool, cool thing. But yeah, I'm always surprised, like, too, like, when I went out to Vegas and we went up towards, like, you know, the Sierra Nevadas and all that, and we saw like the huge mountains there. It's so weird how,
Sector scanned.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's what it's like here, because we live in like essentially what's the Great Valley area in Pennsylvania, like the, or at least where I lived. So it's like you have Valley Forge Mountain, which is really high, but it's long and part of the Appalachians. And on the other side, you have more mountains, but they're not like mountains like people think, like snow-capped peaks. And yeah, it was like super, super humid during all of the summers. Like, we had, during that, I think it was 1997, we lost power for like 4 days, and there was like 6 feet of water because all of our drains had just been flooded from, you know, everything was flooding. And it was probably one of the craziest times. It was like the apocalypse, but it was pretty awesome. There were people panicking. Like, we actually legit, when we lost power, and it was a good, like, usually nights were like from 100 to 103, and yeah, it was awful. And some people who had like AC and stuff were legitimately like driving out of state to get away from it. And I was like, okay, like, it's, you'll get used to it. Plus, you're not going to work because the power's out. But yeah, and I had to stay in this cabin. I have to say, it was like the worst experience of my life. I had to stay in a cabin that was, long story short, let's just say a family friend. And it was up in the Poconos. And of course, we went in like, again, early November. And it was like one of the coldest snaps that had happened in a while. And it was like, I think -3 was the high for most of the day. And it was awful. They didn't have indoor plumbing, so you had to go to the bathroom outside. And
Research complete.
ugh, it was some of the worst thing. And now that I'm over it, I realize, like, I would never and could never live in a cabin, because, like, especially some places with outdoor plumbing, because when it's like 1 in the morning and you can hear animals like chuffing outside, and you're like, oh my god, this is how I die, and you've been eating like jerky and terrible food, and you're just like making a mess in the bathroom, and it's like 3 degrees or -3 degrees, you suddenly realize that, like, you know, everything is pretty much terrible and trying to kill you. So try to get as comfortable as you can now. And we got a
Sector
bear
scanned.
that busted out one of the windows, and that was probably one of the worst things to wake up to, was a bear breaking in a window. But we had like rubber bullets and a shotgun and all sorts of guns up there, so it was fine. I was like 8, so, like, you know, I'm like an 8-year-old, like, thinking like, oh, I just want to go home and play Sega Genesis. I want to go play Ninja Gaiden with friends. And instead I'm like stuck in a cabin freezing to death while bears are trying to kill me. And we had a sick deer who was outside, like, kicking and bucking and knocking stuff over, and knocked the mirror off the side of the van we went up in. I was like, this is the definition of hell. But when I got home and I had a hot shower and I ate like the biggest bowl of mac and cheese I could find, I was happy as fuck. I was like, oh man, I'm never going to that stupid cabin again. And they offered me like to go again. It wasn't scary because in like the presence of it, like I always find it like scary experiences to be like weird. Like when they happen, it's like they happen so fast that you're not fully processing it, and you're like so hyped on adrenaline that even if they're in essence not frightening, or in essence like it's not that frightening because you can handle it, I think there's kind of this like spike you have, and then you kind of forget that it happened, where like after the fact it doesn't seem as bad as it was. I don't know whether it's just your brain trying to rationalize it, or it's like, you know, but either way, I just find it so weird because like when I look back on it, it feels like it wasn't real, but I also think a lot of that's my brain just trying to deny that it happened. Also, a do not recommend experience. We had a camp group with our like school, part of like Boy Scouts and other like outdoor things. As a kid, I loved the outdoors, going on creek walks, like going out to ponds, like swimming in ponds and stuff. Which wasn't the best idea because I got bit by a lot of snakes, but the absolute worst thing was we went out
Sector scanned. Anomaly.
and I was probably 5 or 6, and it was this like, I think it was like the 3rd week of September, so we got like a weekend, and then we had like the Monday off if you were part of this like outdoor group. And I was like, oh cool, like, you know, I'll get a Monday off, and like I'll get to go out and we'll see nature and do some hiking and creek walking, and like that's cool. And our one counselor, I don't know why she went. She was not equipped for it at all. And she was kind of, I think she was just there because they needed someone for like the girls that went on the excursion. Like, just needed a female chaperone. And the 2 guy teachers honestly did not know what they were doing. And they kept trying to, like, I had gone to summer camp for years, and we learned about like where to camp, where not to camp. Like, you don't camp on game trails. You don't follow game trails. And stuff like that, because it's an easy way to get lost. It's an easy way to get attacked by a predator, because predators follow game trails because that's where their food goes. I mean, it's kind of common sense stuff. And you don't camp right next to water. It's just a rule. And so we ended up going in this. I welcome Ninja Wolf Games. We ended up camping in the middle of this field that was at the end. It was like basically like a clearing, and the game trail led into the clearing because we were following this game trail for like an hour, and it was starting to get dark. And we started, you know, cooking campfires, cleaning up the sites, putting out our tents, like, you know, the whole 9 yards. And this is the first night, and we had a lot of people who weren't in tents because it was warm, so you didn't really need a tent necessarily, and the mosquitoes weren't that bad. So we laid out in this field, and in the middle of the night, it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. I don't even know what time it was because I was you know, just suddenly woken up. We ended up having a group of skunks and possums going through our food. I got sprayed by a skunk, and several of the students got sprayed by a skunk, and we all had to run for the tree line because there were animals. There was like at least 2 skunks that I could see, and they had been attracted by the food because you know, they're kids. We're messy. We leave food all over the place, and nobody packed the stuff up in plastic bags, so the animals couldn't smell it. So we had animal. We're lucky we didn't get a bear, for God's sakes, but we ended up running for the tree line and grabbing whatever we could. And the worst part is I left my sleeping bag because I just booked it because I thought it was like a bear or something. I was like, oh God, this is how we die. And what I didn't realize, since it was like already pretty dark when we started setting up camp, because they didn't know that you could, you know, camp in actual woods. It ended up that most of the kids, where they had laid out their things, because it was just like low grass, because it was a big clearing, was all poison ivy, and my entire sleeping bag and I was just covered in poison ivy, and it was honestly the worst. Alright, let's resolve our power problem. We do have 34, so let's see. So yeah, I had horrific poison ivy for all that time, and it was an absolute disaster, and they actually wrote letters to our parents, like, explaining that they're sorry that incidents happened while they were out on the camping trip and all of this. And it was just like this huge disaster. Like, I'm pretty sure if you did it today, my school would probably have been sued, like, by parents who were like, my poor babies were scarred when animals chased them. It was like, it wasn't that bad, but people panicked like it was. But that, like, has always stuck in my mind as like one of those things where I'm like, oh good God. But yeah, nature's scary, man. I don't know. I guess I'm angry at nature because it's so cold here, but when I was like, I want to say like 10, me and my friends used to go play in this creek, and we used to swim up and down it. It had like little rapid parts. It wasn't like wide or anything. It was maybe like 10 feet wide, and it was in this park that was like a little park, but it had this like wooded strip down the middle where the creek was, and there was like a little swamp area. You son of a bitch, tornadoes. Seriously? Dude, screw tornadoes. But, just talking about how much I hate nature. But yeah, we were all swimming, and we had done it like 100 times before. It was no big deal. We'd see some fish, maybe like some little pond slider turtles that are, you know, harmless. Just basic, go out, swim, have some fun. We even went up to go look at dragonflies up by the swamp. But, the one time we were swimming, and I came up and I had a water moccasin, literally like a foot from my face when I came up from the water. So the first thing I see when I open my eyes is that snake like a foot from my face. And I'm so glad it didn't strike me. And it wasn't like a big adult. Well, actually, the little ones are real dangerous, but it wasn't that big, and I like almost crapped my pants. And then we tried to use a branch to shoo it, and it started biting the branch and going crazy. And we were like, okay. And we never went again. It was like, oof, no thank you. Not all of nature is that scary, but we also had a kid who almost tried to pet a snapping turtle. We had this big alligator snapping turtle in the pond, and sometimes you'd see him by the side, and he would hiss and like make this gurgle sound, like it was a terrible sound. I can't do it right. It was like an undulating, I don't know, look up alligator snapping turtle sounds. And they warned us to stay away from him at all costs, because he can really hurt you. And this kid, who was like 5, was like walking up to pet it, like, "Hello, Mr. Turtle." And I was like, this is bad. I remember the one camp counselor just like grabbing that kid and yanking him away, and that turtle hissed so loud. I was like, that kid almost lost his hand. Like, no thank you. He wasn't that big. He was maybe like, probably like 1.5 feet, 2 feet, somewhere around there. He was a big guy, but, you know, he was just meant for population control in the lake. Although I do have to say, nature provides the absolute best moment, which it's sad that some people will never really know it, but the best is when you're kind of out in the middle of nowhere, and it's like just, it's snowing heavy, but not like blinding heavy, and you're just walking at night in the dark. It's like the absolute best thing, like a snowy wood at night. Like, that's a thing that most people should be afraid of, but I find it to be the absolute best, because it's like you could drop a pin. Like, you can almost hear like the snow, like each individual little flake hitting the ground. And just walking in that is just like the most satisfying time. And also it's weird because it's like not cold. I don't know how to describe it. Like, yeah, it's hella cold, but it's like just enough that it's not so bad. Also, Kyoto, Ninja Wolf, I hope you guys are having a good week. I'm not, but I'll get through it. I think I wanted... I think it was... No, because that would be robotics, but I already got the mohole, so I don't really need it. I think I was looking for apartments, which I don't think I have. Floji High Rise. So I guess apartments is probably one of these 3. Boo. Oh, I only have 8 left. I should probably order more, or... 137 power, we should be okay. We're gonna need to order parts. Yeah, we can do that. Prefab. We're gonna need definitely one of those. We can skip the polymer. I'd rather have electronics. Well, yeah, but that'd be 1-to-1. Oh, I have hygroscopic, so I should be okay. There. I'll just fill those out now. Turn you back on. Quarantined. As soon as you finish one, the next deadline comes up.
Research complete.
That's how I feel. My work week ends on Tuesday, so like Monday, Tuesday are like crunch days, and then the rest of the week is chill. Sometimes, though, I like deadlines because at least you know, like, if it's something that's, like, utterly annoying, you know that, like, if you finish it by the deadline, you won't have to deal with that. Like, we used to have like seasonal deadlines at one of my work, and once we got those deadlines done, and I was like, ugh, we have everything done, we're good. It was like, finally, this one's over. But how do we want to do this? I should install a network node in here. Yeah. 7 unemployed. Can we actually build? No, we can't. And that would be quite expensive. Ugh. Oh, well, let's do this. Sorry, you guys are going to be quite upset for a little bit. Don't worry, scientists, you'll get your job back. Just clear the remains. Clear the remains. Quick, clear them. There we go. That's all I needed. Also, excuse me being a motor mouth. I'm just so, whew,
Sector scan.
overdone. Overcooked. Is that a Harl? Where are you, baby boy? I don't know whether I was hallucinating or that was actually the Harl meowing. Couldn't tell. Sorry, I'm looking at this. This bothers me. The light has... I don't know if you guys can see it. Is there a way to see it? This light has, like, this weird, like, rough edge on it. And I don't like it. I think he's lurking. I know. I'll put him on cam if he actually comes over here, even though I look like a hobo. I've been wearing the same hoodie like all week non-stop because it's too cold to like wear anything else. Oh, geologists. Alright, we need 6 geologists. I don't think we have any geologists. Nope. Yeah, let's... $53 concrete. Ooh. There we go. 6 unemployed. Let's make this easier. Bam. There you go. 2 homeless. We need some geologists. Although it sucks, because once the geologists get here, they won't have work. They'll have to work somewhere else. Let's also do this. And just do a small art store. I don't like the art store, but it works. And then I'll just automate them, but I'm probably gonna, yeah, let's just send that. I need the money. I need to buy more electronics and more machine parts. Oh, please be some money ones. Alright, do the breakthrough first, and then we'll do that one. So, I didn't know you could actually queue up research for them, or queue up pickup tasks, and it's honestly the greatest thing. Alright. Still pretty good.
Resources are low.
I know. Concrete's gonna be low for a little while. We can actually reach this. So let's, since we're going to need it anyway, and we have the power. Although that will chew through the rest of our, whatever, machine parts. But I have some good news for my work, but it's more, there will be less frustration in certain ways.
Discovered.
Oh, robots. Robots. That's good and bad.
Research complete.
I'm gonna worry about the positronic brain later. I don't want bio-robots starting a bio-robot revolution or anything. Come on, give me that concrete. This one's low though, isn't it? Oh, it's average. That's fine. So they don't waste a lot of time. Let's just put that there, and no, I hate that.
Funding received.
Give me that cash. Come on. Poof. Alright. I hate doing this, but yeah, that's bad. Whatever. I have more than enough fuel. I think I'm maxed on fuel, aren't I? No.
Anomaly analyzed.
Okay.
Sector scanned.
73 left. But it was funny today. I watch streams when I work because honestly, that's like the best thing during work is to be able to like watch a stream. But yeah, I was watching someone stream, and it's really weird because it's not going to out him, but it's kind of strange when you have someone who's like, they're they're generally charismatic, smart kind of person, and you're like, well, they're a pretty cool person. But then they're just like riddled with depressive issues, and they try to like, they're trying to work it out. But for some reason, there's always people who think they're like internet sleuths who like want to cure their depression, or like, or the people who are like, well, just be happy then, like, or like, oh, we're just going to give you these positive comments. And it's always so weird because I've noticed that depressed people, and this is just my opinion, it's not reality, but a lot of people I know who are like super depressed all the time always listen to like way upbeat music, like frighteningly upbeat music. And I find that really weird. it's like some weird shell for them where it's like, ah, well, if they're happy, then I should be happy. And it's like, bordering a line, friend. Alright. I don't know. It's not like trash talking them or anything, but it's one of those things that I always find kind of weird. I don't think we need another grocer. Don't really want to... I'll just put it in. I'll just put in a space bar, whatever.
Resources are low.
I know. I don't think correlation equals causation in that regard. It's very odd. Alright. Let's start getting this together.
Sector scanned.
So I don't have to do it later. And then I'll get more money and basically do the same flight. Because I have more than enough rare metals to go. S metals, as I like to call them. Also, I really want to play more Death Stranding. Like, I don't know if you guys watched the VOD of it or whatever, but like, I seem apathetic to it, but honestly I think it's pretty neat and I'm enjoying it. It's just I don't want to come off that I'm not enjoying it, or that I don't want to stream the games I'm supposed to be. Well, not supposed to be, but want to stream. Say I want to stream. It's just, I think in many ways I need to update my stream schedule.
Research
Like, I definitely want to do Saturday streams again, but in like a limited capacity. Because I know not everybody can watch them, or they have to like rewatch them later. But it's more, I have a lot of bulky games, and I want to get through these bulky games at some point this year. I don't know. Like, Delirious wants to do more White Day, which I'm amped for, and just in general, it's like, I like my little small knit community. Like, there's people talking about like streamers who are in it for the money and whatever, and like, don't worry, I'm in it for the money, but I'm not, it's not my primary concern. I just want to have fun, play games that I'm interested in. But there's a lot of people who just like, I watch them play and it's like chasing coattails, you know? Like chasing the ever popular dragon. Like, one person I followed for a while, I liked her content, but she was definitely chasing the clout and trying to like play whatever's popular or whatever. And I don't know. I usually have like qualms against that kind of stuff. But alright, yeah, you're pretty much handling that. So how many do you have? You have 4 drones. Okay, I need to buy more drones. Actually, let's just do this instead, because this is kind of a stupid place.
Sector scanned.
Let's put it right here instead. I don't know. And also, I am kind of sweating bullets with YouTube's new terms of service about people being economically viable and stuff like that. Like, that really weirds me out, because like, I worry that like my channel will disappear, and if it ever does disappear from YouTube, I'll just go to like Twitch or Mixer, or just go somewhere else, like if they're just gonna be like that. But you know, I think I worry a little too much about YouTube as a platform changing. But I'm too far away. Like, oh, also, if you can hear the heater, I'm sorry if you hear, like, loud fan in the background. Like, that heater is really loud. And I need it there, so I don't die. But I don't know. Like, I've seen some other creators that I know of. I don't watch their content, but I'm, like, generally involved, I guess. Like, I know them through Twitter, and I've seen some of their videos and stuff, and I've watched some of their content, but not, like, subscribed and gone in the whole 9 yards. And it sucks because one of them was recently just, like, wiped. Like, their whole YouTube catalog, everything, and they didn't really do anything. I was just kind of like, I don't know. It gave me that, like, the heebie-jeebies. Like, just do 10, and I guess the best we're gonna do. And welcome, MB. Also, it's really funny because, like, here's a strange thing that I find. I find that there's this weird power of videos and things on the internet that are, like, generally indecent or unsafe. Like, they're considered things that you shouldn't post on the platform at all. And, one of them was something on Facebook, which has, like, a strict no nudity guideline. Like, you can't show any nudity, period. It's like, okay, well, if that's your rules, that's your rules. I get it. Like, I get people don't want to see nudity. No big deal. Yeah. There's a video that someone sent me that's a woman doing a gender reveal by farting colored dust out of her butt cheeks. And, like, you see her whole butt cheek. Like, it's all there for the world, and she arches her butt up and farts out a blue cloud, and then all these people cheer. And I'm just like, what? Like, yeah, it's funny, and it's bizarro land, but it's like, Facebook is, like, actively promoting it and not banning it and, like, not going crazy about it. But, like, one of my friends through Twitter had someone that was suspended from Facebook because she was wearing a shirt that was, like, one of those shirts that makes it look like you're topless, but it's not. And it was, like, drawn on cartoon boobs. And they told her she had to take the picture down or they'd close her account. And it's like, okay, you have a woman, like, farting dust, and it's because everybody loves it. It's like, this is okay. But you better not show fake cartoon boobs. That's a no-no. But yeah, I always worry about that with YouTube, that, like, I'll hit something, and they'll just be like, nope. Like, I've done some controversial stuff, and all my stuff's marked as adult, but beware. Be wary. Alright, there we go. Now we should have more than enough drones to get all the business done. And let's do this. Let's build another Tai Chi garden because of reasons, because there's going to be a lot of people in this tower. And might need to add more here. and then eventually I'll add a spire, so we'll be okay. Let's build production dummy. Let's build an electronics and machine parts. Yeah, and then yeah, that should be okay.
No active research.
Ah!
Research complete.
Yes. STEM reconstruction is very good. No robots yet. Dead colonists are food. That's good. Some Soylent Green. I could do some GHG, but there's dangers in that. Let's do that. And Hanging Gardens is absolutely worthless. The comfort of residents are so good that you'll just end up having people overbreeding. Yeah, let's just do the 3 terraformings now. Because we have some 2K research, so, during the day, so that's pretty good. But yeah, I don't know how long I'm going to stream tonight, because I'm cold and tired. Okay, let's just do this one and this one, and that leaves us with 3. Ooh. So NB, on the Death Stranding one, when I was complaining about being cold, yeah, it wasn't because the furnace needed to be turned up. Our furnace was broken, and now we have to replace it. So our furnace is getting replaced on Friday. So until then, streaming's going to be a little awkward. Because downstairs is far too cold for me to stream. I can like barely lay under a blanket without freezing to death. Because it's fucking 18 degrees here. Yeah, we're gonna need more food jobs, but that can wait. You have 0 drones. I actually have a decent amount of concrete and a decent amount of power. Whatever, 43 is a decent amount, plus I have some spare people here. So once they build these, we should be okay. Oh, they did. Why is it saying people? People don't work there. It's an automated place. Water is good. So let's build a polymer's factory here. And then we should be golden. You're ready to go? 3 songs. How many rockets do I have? Okay. Ooh, I can take 42 people. Ooh, that's nice. And we do need to build food here, or otherwise we'll get like overrun. How many geologists? 5? Let's get rid of Hotang. And we'll grab Bang Lao. Unquarantined. Also, do we have... We do have shuttle, but I can't build it yet. How's your week going, MB?
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
Hopefully better than mine. More than enough residential, so we're good. So this open up, and then we need 5, 10, 15. Okay, good. Oh, man. My hands are so cold. So yeah, I think the easiest thing for me to do, since it's so damn cold, is since on Thursday we actually have to get up super early, I'm going to not stream tomorrow, and then probably Friday night and Saturday streams. And tonight's stream I'll go for a little bit, as long as I can before I get too cold, because as warm as the heater is, it's far enough away that I'm not like getting too warm. But yeah, 18 degrees is not really good for me to be streaming in. Oh yeah, build a farm. Yeah, just build. No, rude. Build it there.
Funding received.
Good.
Breakthrough discovered.
Oh, inspiring architecture is a good one. Okay, waiting for
New
passengers to get
colonists have arrived.
And this, I could automate it, but I don't have the stuff for it. So. Alright, we want the breakthrough. I really hope nobody scanned this one already. Oh, did they already scan it? You bitches. Seriously? Seriously? That's rude. Did I not get any botanists? I have 6 botanists. The heck? Botanists. What are you doing? Come on now. Stupid farmers.
Sector scanned.
Alright, anyway. Ugh. Yeah, so pretty much that's my plans. And hopefully once this heater is installed, just regular streams, no problems, no cold, nothing to worry about. Everything will be alright. Why don't you have power? Oh, why are we running at negative 16? Oh, that's not good. Oh. Wait. Son of a bitch. Okay. Wait a minute. I don't have polymer blades, so that's not good. Ooh, that's gonna be cutting so close. Because we don't have enough power for electronics. At least we'll have this operational. That's good. By the way, a great thing to look up if you're ever feeling sad, fishing cats. Fishing cats are absolutely adorable. They're like regular cats, but with longer faces. Son of a bitch. And they have little tiny ears, and they're super cute. Delirious and I were watching a little YouTube short all about fishing cats, because that's just what we do. And honestly, fishing cats are like throw up cute. That's why. Didn't unload the food. Close enough. Some polymers there. Also, speaking of which, is the polymer... Okay, people are working in the polymer plant, so that's good. Alright, and... you guys are getting covered, right? Okay, good. Alright, you guys come back. Yeah, just connect there.
Research complete.
Good. Yes, definitely want that. It's weird. I've been like, in the other games I've played, I've gotten kind of all the same breakthroughs for the most part. Which, in many ways, admittedly, I've played this game to death. So, I've seen most things in this game. But, still. Okay, nobody's unemployed, so that's good. Sleeper Joe. Today we learned that an upstanding member of our community has been a spy since the day they arrived on Mars. While Ying Fu was not employed by a rival colony, they did send all info stolen to a third-party intelligence. Oh, hell yeah. I don't care if people have low morale. Get bent. It's $1 billion. I'm gonna have like 2 billion by the end of this. Alright. I've just played it to death. There's really not much I haven't seen, and I have like games where I have like every resource tapped, maximized domes. There's maybe a few in and outs that I don't necessarily work on. I've seen people who like micromanage and stuff like that. But And people who do like, oh, I do 600% challenge difficulty, but that's not me. It's not the way I roll. Okay, they're gonna be a little low for a bit, but that's fine. Once I get inspiring architecture, they'll be all right. Also, no, we don't have the chips yet. I'm gonna wait until we have enough electronics to tear one down, build a game store, and then automate it. And also welcome Herb on. Also,
Milestone achieved.
hey, I think Friday I might try to convince Delirious to play White Day. Do it like Friday night, which is abnormal, but I owe it to you guys for kind of, I guess, shit streaming the past couple weeks, because I've been inconsistent with my schedule. You know what? Yeah, just get this now. No, I'm getting more people. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do. She's intrigued, but I don't know whether it be Friday or do like Saturday or Sunday.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
Also, Delirious wants to like set up her own channel and all that, but like, I don't know. I think us in general sharing the channel might work well,
Funding received.
and I'd be more than willing to kind of move stuff around or whatever. She keeps having dreams of becoming like a famous streamer, and it's kind of funny. Dude, Scarlett scratched me the other day. So we have a box, and it's like just a little Amazon box, but she like adores it now. So we haven't the heart to throw it out, and also we're lazy with recycling. And Scarlett was just playing with it, and yeah, exactly. And so yeah, she was just like swatting out of the box as she normally does. And normally I can like poke her or tease her, and then it like,
We discovered unusual crystals.
ooh, more money, baby. And normally she's pretty predictable. Like, I know when she's gonna like be set off and slash at me. But nope, this time was not the case. She waited and like baited me and slashed like my hand from like the bottom of my thumb all the way to like the back of my hand. She didn't like make me bleed or anything, but it was just like, ooh, danger cat.
Research complete.
Soylent Green, that's good. If anybody dies, they're now dinner. I could do that. Kind of want to do that, but I won't have the 300 for a little bit. Oh, actually I might. Yeah, let's do that. Could outsource, but for the moment, concrete's not a problem. Yeah, let's just try to get 30 of each. And then let's do a drone hub and 3 Sterling generators. Boom! All my money down the drain. Single shots. But yeah, Delirious keeps having dreams about becoming like a famous streamer, and like just, you know, in dreams, like, you know, you have dreams where suddenly like everything changes and she like becomes a famous streamer. And she apparently had a dream, which I find absolutely hilarious, where I got upset that she got like super popular and like she didn't have to work anymore because she was like a famous streamer. I was making a lot, and I was like, I don't understand why people get upset when their significant other makes more money. Like, there's like guys I've met, like, you know, friends of friends, who are like legitimately bitter that their wife makes more than them, and you can like tell that they're like seething about it, and it's like the weirdest thing in the world. Like, I don't get it. Like, why are you upset that your house is making money? It's not like your girlfriend's gonna be like, you don't make enough, now I'm leaving you. And if she is, why are you with her? Like, but it's just weird. Or like, you know, husbands who get upset about their wife's, you know, like fame and popularity. I find it to be absolutely bizarre. There was something about like some tennis pros. There was like a husband and wife, like tennis. I don't remember where they were from, but there was this whole thing where they were famous in like the 70s, and it ended up that he couldn't play anymore, and then she became like super famous, and he just like divorced her right out. Like we're not happy like playing tennis together and doing all this, so I'm just gonna divorce you because like I can't play anymore and you're still winning like major tournaments. It's like, dude, calm down. Like, even when I spent my time as like a house husband, I wasn't like upset that my wife was making money. That's just weird. But
Research complete.
yeah, it's just one of those things that it's like, I'm never the person to do that. And I was like, Dream Me is apparently like a dick. Well, more so. But yeah, we actually had a whole thing where Delirious and I were going to create like a separate channel that's just like our content, but it kind of fell through because she kind of waned on it, and there was a lot of other things going on that made it not feasible. But we still have the channel, it's just hidden. But I'm gonna go roll another cigarette real quick. Also, get this. I was looking into it, and when I stream from PC, which I might start doing it with PS4 just to make certain things visible, what I kind of want to do, which I've already looked up the stuff for it. So the chat I use, Restreamio, it allows me to, you know, talk with everyone. I want to put in like information stuff.
Sector scanned.
Like some people have like exclamation point uptime. It says how long they've been streaming. Like info, you know, like donate. So you just type like exclamation in that. But what I was thinking is putting all the like Game Boy Advance and PlayStation games I've played and putting them on a list, so that way you can do like exclamation point and a number, and it'll come up with all, like, if I've done that game or not. And then I want to do, there's another one that's like a polling, because I still want to do some PlayStation stuff, but that probably won't be until the new year.
Research complete.
Like finish the PlayStation plays. But I want it so when we go to pick numbers, you can just pick a number, or if you have a recommended game or an idea, you can like put in an information or quotes or whatever, so that way they can be retrieved later. So that way, at least in chat, you can do a little more, or it's like, I want to know something. But I haven't decided all the parameters yet, and I've looked into the coding, and it's not bad. Most of it, you can get pre-written stuff, and you just fill out sections of it. And the one I really like is if I'm streaming through PC or on PC, as long as Restreamio is active, there'll be ones that do like play noises, like play a GIF. It won't come up in chat, but I'll see it or I'll have it like on the screen, so you can like post a GIF or post certain stuff. So it'll come up in the stream, but it'll of course be filtered or like limited to approved stuff. Like I'll have all the stuff on my end, or find a way to be able to do like short quoted text. Just fun stuff. But I've been hardcore looking into it recently, and it's not too bad. I need to set up my Stream Deck and do all this other stuff, so I'm hoping to at least have some of that stuff set up soon, so that way I can at least be drawn into like the next year. But I don't know. It's all stuff in the works. I have everything in the works, and not enough time, baby. Alright, how are we doing here? Oh god, we already have homeless. Our people are humping too fast. Or not fast enough? I don't know which. I guess kids? Woohoo! People were hardcore knocking boots. Jesus. Jesus. Okay, people, look. There's a limit to my charity. Alright, upgrade this. That's already upgraded. Upgrade that. I don't have the boost.
Research complete.
Okay. So if I took this off, I should have enough for the research node. Did I already get that? I didn't. Inspiring architecture is really good, but let's get that first because we don't even have a spire yet. Also, big downfall to vaping, big downfall, is it is so cold in here that the batteries in my vapes are dying like daily because it's just that cold. It's just like sapping batteries dry. It really is like almost ridiculous. And it's not because I'm like hardcore puffing them because I'm cold or anything. It's just like that battery power is not lasting. Also, Delirious and I want to try simulcasting, because our internet should be good enough to simulcast, where like we can both stream at the same time. And at some point we want to try it. I might just get Astroneer, which is like a creative space building game that's kind of fun and interesting. And have Delirious and I stream it at the same time to see if we can with our internet, which we should be able to. We should have the bandwidth to be able to do that, because I can like actively see what our bandwidth is.
Sector scanned. Anomaly found.
And how much is actually being used. Like, our Wi-Fi in our house is not the greatest, like our Wi-Fi devices, but I can directly hook to one and she can do it. Yeah. Be like, who do you want to watch? Like right now, I have about 9.4 megabytes per second here, just my streaming, which is not that bad. But, you know, if Delirious and I could stream and play at the same time, that'd be great. Because she wants to know when she can stream, and she thinks it's awkward if, like, she's streaming and I'm not streaming. Like, you know, I don't find it awkward, but she does. So, oh, God, so much metal. It's garbage. But, I don't know. Plans for the future. Also, hopefully PS5 comes out soon, because PS4 is already, like, at its breaking point with a lot of games and streaming. So, and then Delirious still needs to get a PS4 Pro, but I'll get her a PS4 Pro, and then they'll announce like PS5 is like, oh, it's only 6 months away, or like less than a year away, and then it'll be like, well, that was a waste of money, like, because we're just gonna trade it on in for another one. But we gotta know, because I'd like to play something together with Delirious at the same time without having to worry about like connection and issues and all sorts of stuff. And by the way, I'm pissed because the other game I just want to do like a chill stream of, the game has started to crash like crazy, so I can't do anything like big or interesting because the game just crashes. And apparently it's a problem on PC that the game crashes too. So, whoop, there goes that. And I got it for free too, and I want to like promote it because it's a good game. It's just recently it started to crash like non-stop, so it's not worth streaming because then I'll just get kicked out, and it's like, ugh, what a pain. Like, I could stream it on PC and be okay, but if I do it on PS4, the stream would just kick out, and that's stupid. Alright, let's...
Sector scanned.
Do we have university yet? No, we don't. It is only 3,000, so let's... do that. But I don't know. Also, huge pain in my butt. So the new graphics card I got, it doesn't have a DVI. It only has DVI-D and HDMI, and it only has one HDMI slot, which is the biggest load of BS ever. But it does have up to 4 monitor support. My old one did have 4 monitor support, but I didn't take advantage of it. But I want to at least get like 2 more monitors just because, so that way I can play hardcore porn in the background of my stream. So that way when nothing's happening, like right now, I could just be watching hardcore porn. Not really, but probably have something else up, like another dashboard. And also it would make my me doing PlayStation 1 so much easier because I would never have to screen transition. But so here's a weird thing. I was watching someone play Radiant Historia, which looks to be a pretty good game for DS. Like, I mean, it's a DS RPG. Like, it's not the grand game, but the music that starts up is the same as. Hold on, let me do this. We're gonna do a quick switch here. Let me find it first. Do I actually have access to it? I should. That's not the right folder. Let's not look in that one. Hold on. Oh no. Do I not have? Where's the... Oh, here we go. Oh man, it might help if I had it. Oh my god, I totally forgot to move all these things. God, what was it? Knights? Either way, hold on, I'll just do it this way. This is the easier way. What sounds like a train wreck? No, get out of here. Where is it? I can play it. No, I didn't want to do that. Yeah, there it is. Oh god, I don't know which one it is. There it is, Dungeon Magic. This. Keep this in your mind. Now ready? And battle. Yeah, I think it's right here. It's right when this song transitions over. It's the exact same song. Yeah, I know. They love the blur. No, it's not this one. I should just get it on Game Boy Advance. Well, either way, it doesn't matter. Let's get back to the game. The opening sound is exactly the same, and it's like, it weirds me out because I keep thinking of Dungeon Magic, even though it's not Dungeon Magic. It's like the same thing that I was going nuts about because I was watching someone play Xenogears, and the song in Xenogears, like the famous song, is the beginning of Shade Abbey from Shining Force. And it's just like, the fuck? Like, it's bad when you've heard so much video game music that some video game music sounds like identical. It like weirds me out. And I had things stuck in my head, and you guys can help me with this. I don't know if it's from Control, or it's from like Deadly Premonition or some other game. But I had this thing stuck in my head because someone kept saying, I was watching people play Red Dead, and in the background they're like, Mr. Morgan. Oh, there you are, Mr. Morgan. And all I could think about was someone going crazy, and it's like, Mr. Morgan says, Mr. Morgan knows, Mr. Morgan, Mr. Morgan, Mr. Morgan, Mr. Morgan. And I don't remember what it's from, and I've tried looking it up, and Google is zero help. It's like, Mr. Morgan says, Mr. Morgan likes, Mr. Morgan went, Mr. Morgan, and I don't know what it's from. But it's a woman saying it, and she just keeps saying it over and over again as the person's like going nuts. And I tried looking up like Deadly Premonition, like going nuts scenes and other stuff, and there's nothing. It's like whatever that is like doesn't exist. Mr. Morgan likes his coffee. Mr. Morgan does this. Mr. Morgan, Mr. Morgan. And it's still like lodged in my brain because I haven't resolved it. Like when you get that thing where you're like, I want to resolve this, but you just can't. Okay, we got 6 unemployed, so how's our water levels looking? Ooh, too close for comfort is what they're looking. Let's do this. But the worst part is I don't know if I played it on stream or I played it like by myself. And I thought it was something that was like from Control, but I don't know. Because I know there's that scene where she's in the office near the end. A shadow looked like a wire, but I don't know if it was from that or from something else. Alright, if we have 8 unemployed, just boop. Oof, we are maxing out the population fast. But I'm pretty sure it's from Deadly Premonition, I just can't remember. And it kills me. It's like when you remember a scene from a movie, but you don't know what movie it's from. It's worse than having an earworm. Alright. Probably gonna go in like 15 minutes because I am too cold for words. And I don't have any monster up here.
Sector scanned. Anomaly.
Ooh, baby. Gimme. Man, I still can't believe they stole my geologist breakthrough. Rats. But also I do promise to avoid playing more Surviving Mars on stream. Not because it's bad or otherwise, but because like
Research complete.
not content. Opposite of content. At least in my opinion. It's good talking material. That's just about it. Goal completed. Hey. Look at that. Alright, I do want to think about what I'm doing here. Yeah.
Breakthrough discovered.
Oh, what's this? Oh, oh, hell yeah. Yeah, you guys get out of here. Well, actually, you can stay. Yeah, gem architecture is like one of the best. Gem domes? Hell yeah. So basically those are like the biggest domes you can get, other than I think there's like one round one. But gem architecture is like broken. Because you can, the domes are like this. and you can set them like leaves, like wheat. If you think about wheat or like the way rice forms, like you can just build them like that and you can explode your colony real fast. I mean, normally the advice is not to explode your colony, but in that case, it's well worth it. Could you drones hurry up, lazy bastards? No, let your drones out, dude. No. You go away, tornado. Although one of the worst was I had for probably like a month I had Voltecker stuck in my head. Someone saying Voltecker and I was trying to think of the game. Couldn't remember it for the life of me, and I went to my cousin's place for like a Halloween party, and I said it and he's like, hell yeah, Pulse Man. And I was like, you son of a bitch. I had this stuck in my brain for how long?
Scanned.
You hear it once and you know exactly what it is. You bastard. And sadly, it looks like the pumpkins we grew unintentionally, intentionally on our front porch, or on our front garden. It looks like the fruit, the pumpkin, it looks like all of them have finally pretty much died. So we had to rip out the plants because they were kind of dying, and
there's more to the barren and
we ended up finding that there was like 3 pumpkins, and one of them was in a kind of sorry state, but the other 2 were cute, just cute little happy pumpkins. And we ended up we have them on our porch and they're about to die. Rip. But we're gonna throw them in the front garden, or I'm gonna throw them in the front garden again, so hopefully they grow, and then we can have more pumpkins. But we'll probably be moving out by then, so we'll just tear up the front garden and put in flowers or some stupid shit. So that way people like our house, or pay someone to come out and do it.
Research complete.
Which is weird, because, like, I could care less for pumpkins, I'll be honest. I could really care less. But after growing them, I really like them. Their flowers are nice. They have, like, big leaves that kind of look like they're like a weed. But man, they were pretty nice. Oh, looks like we need another fuel depot. Let's put it like right here. And also, we got a plant called Stepmother's Tongue, which is a very helpful plant in terms of like cleaning the air, and is nice. Generally nice, kind of like succulent vine. I don't know what to call it, but it's like almost impossible to kill. And we left it out on the porch. Well, I left it out on the porch. I was going to bring it in earlier because it was so cold out, and now our heater's dead, and the poor plant is like sitting in our kitchen under UV light, like trying to resuscitate it. It's like, goddamn, man. Like the one plant we shouldn't kill. How long do you guys have? Okay, not too much longer.
Sector scanned.
We're going to run out of mouths to feed. I should probably turn births off. Don't be unemployed. Get an education. Yeah. Yeah, sadly. Let's turn that all on. People want to take... Oh, look at that. Boom! Everybody filled in. The only thing I hate about these is that because there's 61 engineer slots, they'll do those like first, and I'll run out of medics. So I can either shift it to medics, and then I have too many medics. Pain. It's weird too, because like I had a spider plant in my room when I was a kid that I had for like 10 years with no problems. Like there was one time where it needed to be trimmed back and I was lazy about it, but like for the most part I had it for most of my life. And then yeah, they're pretty hard to kill. It's not dead, it's just like it's on the edge. It's not doing well, but I gave it some fertilizer and gave it some water and kept it under UV light, so it should hopefully come back. But yeah, like this spider plant ended up, my mom's stupid Boston Terrier knocked it over, and then not only knocked it over but grabbed the plant and shook it and like tore it to pieces. It's like, oh, did you love this? Because I'm gonna destroy it. Hated that dog. I didn't mind him at first, but after the biting and destroying most of the things I loved, and he loved grabbing cords and pulling like my console, so I wouldn't let him in my room, and he ended up ripping the cable box out and slamming it on the ground, and my mom was like, oh, he just doesn't know better. And I'm like, oh my god, you gotta let this dog get away with everything. But I have a kiwi plant that's growing gorgeously. Got torn up by a dog. Koosh boomerangs are like indestructible. Like literally their thing was that they were like pretty much unbreakable for koosh balls. Oh yeah, and I had a Nerf, one of the old like bow and arrow ones that I was just keeping around, and he got into the basement and peed all over it and then ripped out all the rest of it. It was like, wow, really? Like, you just do this out of spite. Okay, that's all one unit. Good. Oh, actually... Any other around here? There's one there. By the way, one of the worst things was one of my friends when I was growing up, I won't mention who they are, but this story would identify. So they had golden retrievers, and their golden retriever had puppies, and of course their fucking dad thought that they could sell the puppies for like a fortune or whatever, which was just not the case. And what ended up happening is they had this golden retriever, and they kept one of the puppies, and the puppy was a little slow. So everything was fine, and now in the basement, their dad had a chair that he had like as like his sentimental chair. Like, this is the chair that I had when I was a little baby, and like you know, it was like this old rickety wooden chair. He's like, but it was like his childhood chair. I don't. That's just a weird thing in my mind. But he was like super protective of it. And when they kept the one golden retriever, they're like, you know, he like loved the dog and would always like hug him all the time, and it was like his favorite dog. And the dog was a little slow and had a tendency to like eat poop, and not like regular like dog eat poop, like where they just go over and like have a little nom. No, this dog like sloppy ate and like rubbed it all over his face, like a kid eating spaghetti, like a baby eating spaghetti. And he ended up doing that with his poop, and ended up smearing it like all over the chair and chewed up the chair. So there was just like, it was like crusted with dog shit and all chewed up. And the worst part is that he was like drunk and in his underwear. And I remember we were all playing down there, and he was like walking around in his fucking nasty tighty whities drinking a fucking Budweiser.
Sector scan.
And I will always remember this as just like, well, this is great. He started screaming about like, why did we like bang up his chair and cover it in dog poop? And it's like I didn't even know about this chair, but he was like livid and flipped out, and he's like, I should throw all you kids out in the street, you ruined like the only thing that's important to me, and all this, flipping out. It's like, yeah, we left dog bite marks all over your chair and poop all over, dog shit all over it, because we thought it'd be funny to prank you, bro. Like, seriously? But he like just went on a tangent and went absolutely crazy, and he was just like, what the fuck? But it was honestly like the most surreal thing that happened to me. Like I'd had some crazy shit of people's parents happening near me, but never anything that was like that magnitude, where it's just like, excuse me, what? It's like, yes, this is our plan all along. We've been chewing on your chair and waving dog shit on it. But he used to blame us for all sorts of stuff. He's like, my fucking screwdrivers are missing again. Ah! And we're just like, we didn't touch your screwdriver, dude. Just like consistently drunk and irrational. But he was like a Marlboro and Budweiser. I wear my hat every day. I do manual labor. Like, I'm always angry and or drunk. The worst part is too, it's so funny that like, I told that story like years ago to someone who was very French, and he's like, oh, you Americans kind of thing. Like, he just like took it as like, oh, Americans, ha ha ha, lol. And it was like, dude, it's not just Americans, let's be honest. Like, one of my friends when I was growing up, his dad was from China, and his dad used to get drunk and cry. I won't say which Chinese friend. I had a lot of Chinese friends when I was a kid. I had a lot of weird foreign friends. Don't ask. And his dad would get absolutely obliterated, wasted on like nothing. He would literally drink like 2 beers and just be wrecked out of his mind and start crying and just going on crazy rants in Mandarin, and I didn't understand it, obviously, because I was a kid and I didn't understand Mandarin. But just like absolute fits, and I was just like, okay, drunk. Although a really good moment for him, one of those moments that I'll always remember, he had never seen a Frisbee before, because, you know, he grew up in China in the 60s and 70s, and lived there until like the late 80s. So he spent all of his life in China, never seen a Frisbee a day in his life.
Resources are low.
And so we showed him a Frisbee, and he had no idea how to throw it, and he was like so amazed when we threw a Frisbee and it just kind of like floated. It was like his whole world was turned upside down, and he spent like a good like 3 hours just throwing the Frisbee and running over and then throwing it again. It was like the weirdest thing. It was like he was playing it like he was like a little kid, like super excited. Weirdest thing. So don't get me wrong, if you had childhood ruined, I guess I could see how that would be like a big deal. Alright, since we have money, let's do like 40 and then grab a little bit of food. Damn it, stupid food. There we go. I still have a lot of weight on this. Whatever. And a story I probably told on stream, but man, they loved KFC. Like anytime he'd come over, not the same dad, but the other Chinese friend, his mom would always bring us like KFC. If he like spent the night at my house or like spent most of the day, she'd bring like a bucket of KFC and be like, here you go, here you go. Like, we don't really like KFC that much. We're okay. We're good, man. But she would like get angry if not. If you did take her KFC, it was over. Alright, I'm gonna roll one more cigarette and then I'm probably gonna end the stream. Also, getting to real time. So, have you ever had one of those dreams where
Sector scanned.
it's like you have X-ray vision? Not like you have a superpower. It's like some latent thing that's not like willing, I guess. Where, say you're like in your town, in your house, in a city, wherever, but you see it and it's like you see like a Silent Hill version of it, or you see like a different version of it where it's like two sides of the coin but they're overlapped. I had a dream the other day like that, and it was unreal. It was probably like just nonsensical how everything led to another. It was like this town where everything was normal, but disaster was coming, for sure.
You'd think the explorer had found buried treasure the way our scientists were reacting. It was a sulfur-rich regolith.
There we go. We'll just grab 1,000. But it was all... I can describe it in fuller detail, but it doesn't make much sense. So... But... essentially they knew that something bad, like, or I knew, or there was impending doom, or a doom that was supposed to happen. Like it happened in another version of that world, and there was a fear that it would happen there as well, like seeing into a different dimension kind of thing, where like everything went wrong. So, people felt this like something bad was going to happen, but they didn't act on it, you know? Like, everyone was suspicious that something bad was going to happen, but nothing ever did. And then it zeroed in, because I could see like both versions of it. And it ended up being about this guy who him and his wife adopted this kid from China. Again, China. Big China night. But this, because I'm playing as China, it made me think of it. So he wanted to take the kid to like understand, because he was white, obviously, and well, he was like Latino, I think. I don't remember. It was very unclear, and dreams are never certain about those type of things. And he wanted to like show the kid his heritage and like Asian culture and all this stuff, so he'd like at least like have a grip, which was like a nice thing to do, you know. So he was taking him around this like Chinatown area through this like these malls. I don't know if you've ever been to Chinatown malls or otherwise, or like in like Korean superfood stores like H Mart. But he was taking him through there, but it was weird because it was like watching it in one perspective, but then in the other perspective, everything else was just like ruined, and it was like skeletons and empty shelves, like everything had been like bombed out. Weird fucking dream. But yeah, the rest of the dream's involvement is not important because it's too lewd for stream anyway. But needless to say, well, not lewd, but too controversial, I guess, to talk about on streaming. But needless to say, it devolved into like a weird conspiracy theory. Oof, that is oof. That shadow on the metal is bad. And also, I probably mentioned it before, but since I'm like cold delirious, I think I'll mention it again. I could literally draw this one street and block, and I don't know why I know it or where I know it, but it appears in my dreams rather regularly, like a weird clockwork that like every so often it appears, and it's usually pretty crazy. It's like when I get like really, I always have really good sleep when I have the dream, but it's always these same sets of houses in this kind of like, I guess like cul-de-sac kind of area, you know, like where it's a whole bunch of residential streets dead end into groups of houses, but it's all like very high-end weird, and everything's just slightly off. Like, it's like when you travel or you go visit somebody's house and everything is just kind of off and you're kind of weirded out, like someone's watching you. Like, you're just kind of like, I didn't feel all that great there. Something was just giving me a weird feeling in the jellies. And yeah. Oh, nice. Like, I probably had the dream like countless times, and it's still surreal to me. But yeah, it involved that place again, and I really wonder like where such things come from. Like, why is it fixated on this one thing? But if you want to get an idea of weirdness in terms of like that type of dream, if you just don't dream like that, there's a show, I think it was The Masters of Horror. It's beginning. Really? You bastard. Masters of Horror, and one of the episodes is called Crouch End, and honestly, Crouch End reminds me a lot of my dream, like in terms of like the setting. Something about the setting, just like when I watched it, I got like that weird feeling, like deja vu. And admittedly, I've had the dream before then, but it's just like something about that is very particular to that, like the same feeling of that episode and everything. Maybe I'll watch a trailer to it. A chain of attacks has reduced to ruins major temples and landmarks in Southeast Asia. Preliminary estimates put the body count in the hundreds. Despite the scale of attacks, the perpetrators are believed to be terrorists of a new kind. So far, no one has taken responsibility, as tensions are high and the blame game is in full swing. There's still a lot of confusion. We'll be following the events as they unfold. What a tragedy. So Last War is at least an interesting one to stream.
Sector scanned.
And we need to start pulling people in. Let's do that. Because, where's this Metatron? Which one is this? No, I think Metatron is in my Russian. I think this one was the Last War. I don't remember. But yeah, I'm going to do this because we've gone way over the time and I am actually feeling kind of sick. But let me do this real fast. That's not what I meant to do. I meant to do that one. I think it was Masters of Horror. Nightmares and Dreamscapes. That's what it's from. Nightmares and Dreamscapes is a good book, but it did not translate too well. It was kind of low budget, and they could have done more. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Stephen King as a person, he does at least write interesting stuff. This? Yeah, this is the whole episode.
Don't be mean.
Has her from
Maybe a little.
The Medallion with Jackie Chan. Which, but yeah, great episode. Go look this up. Thank you, Fred Z. Even though this will probably get removed from YouTube, it's a good horror. It's weird, but it tickles me, and I have weird dreams about it. But either way, have a good night, everybody. Thank you for this impromptu bad stream, and hopefully Friday I'll be back streaming, so that way I'll be warm, and then I'll try to do a lot of streams this weekend so we can catch up. But I love you all. Have a good night.